Hey everybody, it's Dr. Susan Bernstein. I'm so glad to be with you today. And I have a really important topic that I want to talk about. It's very near and dear to my heart. It's something I experienced, so I want to talk about. It's something you've probably experienced, so you may want to hear about. It's rejection. So let me share with you what we're talking about today. Today's topic, I decided I wanted to talk about for Mind Body Mondays, I wanted to talk about being rejected and how to recover rapidly. Just a quickie for those of you who don't know me. Hi, I'm Dr. Susan Bernstein. I'm an executive coach and leadership consultant, and my mission is to help you master the strategy and psychology to elevate your leadership. You'll find me at drsusanbernstein.com. And on Mondays, I share micro shifts that help you to be more resilient, more fluid, more flexible. And a micro shift is just a quick mind-body practice that you can use in just a few minutes to help you recover from stress. And most of these are invisible. So nobody has to know that you're doing this to recover from something that you might have found difficult. So what I'd like you to do right now is to think about a time that you were rejected. I know that might be uncomfortable to do. Like most of us, I don't want to go back into that rejection place. But I'd really like you to do that so that you get to feel the benefits of this. And the good news is this thing is hopefully for you in the past, although you might have had a recent rejection. And if you did, I'm very sorry. And you're going to get a technique that can be very helpful. So rejection comes in many forms. You could think about a person or group saying nasty things about you or incorrect things about you. Rejection can come from being ignored or left out. It can also come from making yourself vulnerable and then not getting the response you want. This one happens a lot. And, for example, I put out a weekly webcast. Actually put out 2 Mind Body Mondays and on Wednesdays, leadership lessons. And sometimes it's like, is anybody gonna watch what I created, right? It's vulnerable, it's scary. So there might be something that you've done that you wanted somebody to like or approve, and they haven't. Particularly in a work situation, maybe you spent weeks and months working on a particular project. You stayed up late, you worked weekends, you sacrificed events, and you didn't feel like you got the reception you wanted, or something got canceled that you were working on. Those kinds of things are all forms of rejection, and we human beings deal with a lot of rejection on a monthly or daily even basis. So what we know is that rejection actually causes physical pain. Research using an MRI machine shows that there's an area of our brain that lights up when we experience rejection, and it's the same area of the brain that lights up or, has a lot of activity. It doesn't literally turn on a light. But when we look on the MRI visuals of it, we see that area being very active. So yes, when you're rejected, it causes physical pain in the body. And if you go back to evolutionary psychology, those psychologists believe that it was important to get a signal from the body that we were rejected, because when we lived in tribes, it was basically a death sentence to be set aside and cast away. And we needed a warning system inside the body if we were facing the possibility of getting kicked out or left out. So that early warning system is still there, but it can burden our bodies. You might feel tight. You might feel tense. You might feel nauseous. Might get a headache or tension in your jaw. Some people, mine is particular in the shoulders. So we need to also, if we're feeling that physical pain of rejection, it's really important not to add to that and inflict our own pain on top of that. So my question to you is, when you feel that rejection, and even thinking of it may bring up some physical pain in your body, wouldn't it be nice to receive a warm embrace to make your pain go away? Don't you feel like a little kid and you wish your friend or your parent would come and hold you? Well, that's what I want to share about today. That's this week's micro shift, the thumbs up self hug. And so I'm going to share with you what that is. And I'm going to go to a different version of this. Oops, so you can see me. So what you're going to do when you feel, you can practice this when you feel rejection, and nobody actually has to know you're doing it. They might think you're a little walled off. And sure, you could do this even in a meeting if you felt comfortable in front of the person, but you could go back to your workspace. You could go to the restroom. You could go in your car. You could wait till you got home and were alone. But up self-hug. So you're going to cross your arms across your chest, and you're going to place your forefingers and the palms, as much of it you can, underneath your armpits. You're going to feel kind of a warmth. It kind of warms up your hands. And you're going to keep your thumbs out and up. You're my wiggly thumbs for you. So in this posture, you're just going to breathe long, slow, and deep for a few minutes. You may want to close your eyes, and you're going to watch your thoughts. And I invite you to welcome the good ones and say adios, otherwise known as goodbye, to the unsupportive ones. And just notice what shifts. And you can, make that tight embrace. You can bring your shoulders up towards your ears. Normally, I don't recommend this. That's a form of creating tension, but it can make you feel a little warmer to do that. But that hug with the arms across the chest is very soothing for most people. And what you want to do when you're watching your thoughts is avoid those ones like, what an idiot I was. Or, God, I don't understand why I always do this. Don't beat up on yourself. I'm going to let go of my hands now. What we actually know is that beating up on ourselves more, being harsh with ourselves doesn't actually help. Now, some people were raised with a family environment or parents who were hard on them. Hey, you idiot, you jerk, they put that on and kind of crack the whip. And we actually know that from research that compassion works better. So this self-hug can be really helpful. Nobody has to know. People may say from body language experts tend to say you're walled off. But what they don't know is the intention on the inside. People tell me when I'm cold, I'll do this. And they may think I'm being, walled off, but I'm actually just cold. So, there's an intention, and take the intention for yourself. But we know that, there's a yogic idea that, especially in Kundalini yoga of awareness, which I practice, the thumbs, leaving them up, it's kind of like surrendering your ego. Now, we think of ego as this big, like I have to hold on to my ego, or that it's a bad thing. It's really just their self-expression, and it's kind of like letting it go. And putting those hands here, it's said that this is a triple warmer point in acupressure and acupuncture under the armpits that you may be activating, and that can actually help you feel warm-hearted. There is a connection in yoga and many other practices between the hands and the heart, and you're crossing over your heart, and your heart center can feel warm. Now, this is getting into some esoteric anatomy, and some of you maybe that's woo-woo. But hey, if it helps to change you, try it out. So I would love to know how this works for you. So if you're watching me on YouTube, I'd love you to go below and in the comments, tell me how this was for you. Try it out. This should be totally safe for you. And I think you'll enjoy it. I think you'll enjoy using this a lot. So I want to also thank you so much for watching. Just so you know, I have 2 weekly webcasts on Mind Body Mondays, which is micro shifts. You just saw a micro shift for resilient leaders, and my Wednesday webcast, which is leadership lessons with Dr. Susan. You can subscribe to watch the episodes on my new YouTube channel. So if you go to YouTube, it's Dr. Susan Bernstein, or youtube.com/Dr. Susan Bernstein. And if you'd like support in becoming the kind of leader you've always wanted to be, I work with new and existing leaders, so existing and emerging leaders. I would love to be able to help you. If it makes sense and you're interested in exploring coaching, please email or call me to apply for a complimentary consultation. We'll set that up. We'll have half an hour together. We'll talk about what's going on in your career. I'll offer some advice and suggestions, share about how a coaching relationship might support you, and we'll be able to explore together if we're a match for working together. You can reach out to me at hello@drsusanbernstein.com or call me at 415-508-8250. Just put a 1 in front of that for Anybody outside the US, I do work with clients outside the US. I just finished up some work with somebody in Paris and somebody else outside London. So happy to help you if that works for you too. Anyway, thank you so much for joining in. If you have questions, leave them in the comment section too, and let me know how this technique works for you. And if there are other things you'd like help with resilience on, feel free to reach out to me at hello@drsusanbernstein.com. Thanks so much, everybody. Have a wonderful week, and I'll talk with you again in a week for Mind Body Mondays. Bye for now.